These are the plaintiffs, Oscar and Alyssa Arroyave. They say their car broke down on the road a few blocks from the defendant's shop, so they got out and pushed the thing to his garage to get it fixed. An hour later, the guy told them he fixed it by changing the spark plugs, but it still wasn't running. Then he said they needed a sensor, which he didn't have, so they got a friend to bring one over. The defendant installed it, but the car still wouldn't start. The defendant then blocked their car in with a truck and told them they owed him money for the work he did. He didn't fix anything. They were forced to pay, and they're suing him with a $296.59 the defendant extorted out of them. This is the defendant, Stephen. He says he stayed open an extra 90 minutes trying to help the stranded plaintiffs with their broken down car. And this is what he gets? A lawsuit? He did everything in his power to help the plaintiffs, is owed for the work he did, and deserves to be paid in full. He's accused of not fixing it right. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $535.02, the balance owed on the repair.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiffs went to the defendant's repair shop. They say they got fleeced, but the defendant says that the car was a clunker and he went out of his way to help. It's the case of you put junk in our clunk.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, man.
Oscar and Alyssa Arroyave, you are suing. You've asked us not to mention the company name. You've asked us not to mention your last name. You're just going to go by Stephen.
Yes.
Okay. You're the owner?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You're suing Stephen's business for $296.59. The amount that he charged you to repair your car that happened to break down right in front of him, but according to you, did not fix your car. You are counterclaiming $535 that you feel you should have charged them and didn't charge them. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Go ahead. What's going on?
Well, as you already know, our vehicle broke down a couple of blocks from his repair shop. Rather than immediately have it towed, we noticed the repair shop there. We walked, we said...
How did you notice the repair? It was a couple blocks away, or?
Yeah, it's in our neighborhood.
Oh, okay. You knew that it was there.
Yes.
All right.
So we walked there, we explained to him what had happened, what was going on with it, and we asked him, would you be able to fix it for us? And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. So we pushed it.
Now, what kind of shop do you have?
I have an auto body shop, and I do towing.
You auto body and towing, but this is mechanical.
I do mechanical, but I really do auto body. I do have a mechanic on duty.
Okay. So go ahead.
Probably our first mistake. But he indicated that he did have mechanics that work there. So we pushed the vehicle into his
How many blocks did you push a vehicle?
Only one.
Yeah.
One block? Okay.
It was close. And he's strong, so.
Okay. Did you sit in the car or did you push also?
No, I pushed also.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm strong too.
Okay.
So he had the vehicle. He said, give him a couple of hours. He would try to figure out what was wrong with it. We received a phone call a couple of hours later, and he said that he had it figured out, that it was the mass airflow sensor, and that it was running, but it was running really rough. So we said, can we come pick it up? It is running. He said, yes. So we returned to the shop. It was not running. So he said, well, if it's not that, he said that he changed that. And
Who was doing the fixing?
I was.
Okay. So did you get it running?
Yeah, it was running. We got the scanner on to see what was wrong, and it says it was multiple misfire. Okay. So we go to the spark plugs, we go to whatever the machine tells us.
Okay, so I don't understand. Did the scanner tell you to go to the spark plugs, or it's not that specific?
That's a specific, it's a basic.
That's a cylinder, so you start with the basic.
Okay, but the scanner doesn't tell you that. It just tells you...
The basics.
Which is what?
You start with it says the cylinders weren't firing.
Okay.
So we did the easiest thing. We changed the spark plugs.
And that didn't work?
It did not work.
And then?
We changed the crankshaft sensor. That's supposed to...
And that's how much money?
But actually, they went and they picked it up for me because they were telling me they had to go somewhere the next day, so we was trying to get it done.
And so that didn't fix it either? But did it, when you put the new spark plugs, they say they got a call saying it's working.
It was firing, it was running. But
according to you, when you got there, it wasn't running?
Your Honor, the problem was that you could start it, but if you took your foot off of the accelerator, it immediately stalled. And it was the same way when we got
every
back
blue moon,
there.
you got to take your foot off the accelerator. Yes. As my husband always tells me. So that's not going to work. But you had to know that before you called them in.
Well,
actually.
Yeah? You want to switch with him then?
They called us.
You got an answer, switch. And who are you?
I'm John.
And what do you have to do with the company?
I just help out and manage.
Okay.
They called me, and I told them it was ready because I was assuming that it was ready.
Okay. And you were assuming it was ready. Why?
Because it was running.
Because I thought it was running. I
Your boss
ordered the
has to
parts.
answer because it was running.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then what happens? What's your plan?
Well, Saturday, this is now the next day in the afternoon when he still had not been able to figure out what
I'm
it
sorry,
was.
we went for a part. He told us it's not that the problem. The problem is another thing. Go pick up this part. We went, pay for that part. We
That's
bring
a sensor.
That sensor.
Right.
Wasn't the sensor neither.
And it wasn't the sensor either. Now your
Yes.
bill's up to $296.59. So then what do you do?
So the next day, we waited until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We called. He said, I can't figure it out. He said, I've been on Google trying to find out what the problem is, and I don't know what it is. So
Okay.
at that point, we said, okay, we're going to come pick it up. We're going to call a tow truck and bring it somewhere else.
Okay. So when you go to pick it up, is that when you find out what the bill is?
Yes,
And you say, what are you joking? You didn't fix it.
pretty much.
Okay, you cost us a sensor. So of the $296.59, how much of that is labor?
None. Mostly is all parts.
Let me see your bill.
I try to work with him as best as I can. I didn't charge him any labor. He got mad. He called the cops.
He did.
He got called the cops.
Your Honor.
If I could interject just for a moment.
Yeah.
We,
When I asked for the parts, at least show me what you fixed. It was no parts.
It was
Okay.
in the vehicle.
And the old parts.
Where
they
were the old
disappeared.
parts?
We had the old
No, but when you got an angry customer, why don't you just hand him the old parts so he can see
we
that you-
actually requested that after we called the police because we attempted to push our vehicle out of the shop, which we could not do because he blocked us in with another truck.
Yes, that's right.
So we couldn't push our vehicle out. That's when we had to call the police. We have a tow truck waiting at this point, and at that point we requested, because we could not come to an agreement, we requested the original parts back so he could take these parts and return them, use them in the future, return
Right.
them where he got them, since obviously
And he
they
said?
weren't. He said, I'm not doing that, and I don't even have them anymore.
Did you get the car fixed?
Yes, we did.
Yes,
What
Your
was
Honor.
wrong with the car?
This is what was
It
wrong.
was a broken spring valve, which they figured out in approximately 30 minutes.
And charged you $358.
Yes.
So they should end up $600 and something poorer because you don't know what you're doing.
That's not
We're
true,
trying
man.
to do something nice, I guess, when you're a body guy. I mean, that's like, but people will come up to me and ask me a legal question, and it'll be the law in Spain. I don't know. I don't work there. I work here. I mean, we all have our expertise, and perhaps maybe you were biting off a little more than you could chew if you were on the internet trying to figure out what was wrong with it.
Well, I go by my scanner, and these new vehicles, you go by the scanner. So that's what I thought it was, but I didn't have enough time. He got hot-headed. He wanted the car. I let it go.
Okay. Well, you didn't let go. You blocked them from leaving. I mean, you didn't let it go.
No, actually, I
But now
offered-
tell me about your counterclaim. You want to sue them for $535.02 because you not only want to charge them for not fixing the car, but you want to charge them more than what you agreed to charge them?
I charged them wholesale prices. I didn't charge them list price.
Okay. You know what? Court's in recess.
All rise.
Are auto repair shops generally crooked?
Yes,
Why do you say?
because I was taken by an auto repair shop,
Doesn't mean that all of them are.
but I've seen a few of them that I've had experience.
A lot of people feel that way going inside the courtroom.
I spoke with your mechanic, who's your normal mechanic, who apparently you couldn't push the car to.
No, it was a little far.
Right. I want to hear what you have to say about what he had to say. What he says is that when you would hear the engine running, you could tell that you needed to conduct a compression test. Did you folks conduct a compression test?
No.
And you didn't do it, why?
After we worked on the car for a little while, I was frustrated in the car. Then they called and they came back and they wanted the car. They didn't want to keep it there any longer. So after that point, we didn't.
Do you work full time for him?
Yes.
Your Honor,
Yep.
the shop they took it to, he worked for that shop. That's his brother. And he'd been working for his brother for over 10 years.
Wait a second. Wait. Nelson's your brother?
Yeah.
Actually, Nelson says that's not his brother because we asked.
Nelson's your brother?
He's my half brother.
Half brother?
Oh.
Wow. Just gets curiouser and curiouser, doesn't it? Look, you know, these cases are always, first of all, let me do the easy stuff. On your counterclaim where you want to charge triple what you charged because you're mad that they sued you, no. Okay, that's not how life works. And then the harder part is, what do I do with this fact? As it turns out, you have new spark plugs. As it turns out, you have a new sensor. As it turns out, that's not what you needed to get your car running.
Right.
So you'd rather not have new spark plug and new sensor. So what should happen? Should you pay zero and be able to keep the new stuff because they were wrong? Or should you pay some reduced amount because you have those new parts in your car? What do you think is fair?
You know, with all due respect, he can put new tires. I don't need new tires.
Where are you from that you have such, because I hear you had a really hot temper at that place.
I'm Brazilian.
Brazilian? Okay. So,
I'm sorry, young.
I just assumed you were Cuban. Go ahead.
He said, I'm trying to Google it. That's why I took the car out of there.
I know. Nelson says that this was foolhardy. That, you know, when you hear the engine run like that and with air gasping, the first thing you should do is a compression test to figure out if it's the valve. That, you know, there shouldn't be all this other stuff. You know, that's Nelson. I'm the judge on the case, and I'm trying to figure out if there's any, you know, I realize that you feel like there's no value to you, but there is a value because now you have these new parts in your car. Just what should that value be is the question. And I'm going to answer that question and do a little what we call rough justice, okay? Taking into account that didn't fix your car, okay? And that you ended up having to pay at the other place to fix your car. So what you were out of this place was the $250 you paid them plus the $46.59 that you paid for the sensor, correct? Okay. So you're out a total with them of $296.59.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna order them to return $200, okay?
Thank you.
That's my judgment, and on your counterclaim, zero. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, the car guys are coming out first. Step on in here. They'll get back 200 of the work you did. What's your reaction to this outcome here? Step up a little bit. Yeah.
I'm glad they got the car fixed and everything worked well and everybody's happy.
You seem like a nice enough guy, and nice guys, you know what happened to nice guys, right? You know what happens.
Sometimes we finish last.
Sometimes, but do you stand by your work in this case?
Absolutely.
How come you weren't able to? You made the other.
We didn't have enough time to fix it because they wanted to take it. We would have got to that.
You would have gotten it next. Yeah. If you had a half an hour more, you would have.
Absolutely.
Gotten it, right? All right. Okay. So head right down this way. His half brother. Was that his half brother or not? I don't know. Here, stand right next to her. Okay. You satisfied? You got back something.
We're happy.
Yeah. It's a good ruling by the judge. You know, fair.
We're happy. Yes,
absolutely.
So what happened when you got mad?
I went to home and I Googled it myself. Yeah.
Is that the name of their shop, the Google Repair Shop? No.
Probably
it should be. It definitely should be.
Did you? You're a strong guy. Did you? And he's a big guy. That could have gotten a little tough.
I got her by my side. So.
Okay. All right. So the car running okay now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Harvey.
A lot of states have licensing agencies for these shops. If you have a beef, call them. You can avoid court.